Hello everybody. It's Damon yet again, and I'm continuing after a short break, basically talk about the ranking Batman movies as well as my Q&A for the 100th episode. The 101st episode today will be going back to Rebooking series, Rebooking WrestleMania tonight, and this time I have to rebook the dreaded WrestleMania 9. And surprisingly, it actually was easier than I thought. I mean, to rebook it into 2 nights, I felt was actually would take a dreadful card and actually would make it great, or at least pretty good. Great, I wouldn't say that, but there's some things that I hesitated, like should I include Marty Jannetty in the card? He was fire in real life, and because I wasn't sure if I should have Shawn Michaels defend the IC title versus Marty Jannetty, but one or another, he's kind of reliable. It's like you can say what you want, but it's like it seems like at 1992, 1993, 1994, beginning of those years, he's always into something trouble. So I cannot feasibly put him in the cards. I'm sorry, I cannot. I try to, but I can't. At least for those 3 years, I can't. So for WrestleMania 9, night one, the opening match will be the same as in real life. It will be Shawn Michaels defending against Tatanka. The difference is Tatanka continues undefeated streak and wins the Intercontinental title on that night. The moment you lose the Intercontinental title is, in this case, is basically when his undefeated streak ends. And it's later on that year, later on in 1993. Okay, so that's for sure. That's number one. So for the Intercontinental title, just want to make sure that everybody understands from 992, 993 is the same as in real life. Bret Hart wins the title at WrestleMania 8. He loses the title to Bulldog at SummerSlam 992. Who loses it to Shawn Michaels at Saturday Night's main event? That's it. No chances there. Now, in the second match of the evening, you have Steiner's at Shrinkers. And again, like in real life, Steiner's win in the match of the night then. The third match is where it becomes different. I would have Crush take on Bam Bam Bigelow. Crush came out, basically went from basically a big win at Royal Rumble 993 where the big boss man. Crush was still being dominant. Whenever a big man versus big man match. That's how I felt about it. And you could still do it. And in this case, I don't know who would have won because, yeah, it would have been basically something similar to big man versus big man. But I would like to think that maybe Crush wins. You know, in this case, it's going to be go either way. You can have Bam Bam win, you can have Crush win. I'm not even sure on this one, but I would just make this happen. But the next one, I am sure who would win. It'd be Razor Ramon taking on and defeat the Big Boss Man. It will be Big Boss Man's last match and lose via fair and square. He lose via the Razor's Edge. In the fifth match, Yokozuna versus Earthquake. That's right. Spoiler alert, Yokozuna does not win the Royal Rumble. In this case, it would be eliminated by 12 men. 12 men would team up to eliminate Yokozuna, and the one who basically be the last straw to make sure that Yoko is eliminated is Earthquake. Earthquake, after being eliminated, basically Yokozuna taunts him on the outside. Yoko participates. Yoko is teamed up upon by 11 other people and Earthquake. Earthquake makes sure to throw out Yokozuna on the outside, and they brawl on the outside. So the Royal Rumble is not won by either of those two men. And Yokozuna wants to take on the Earthquake. Earthquake was undefeated at WrestleMania. To date, he would have been, in my version, he would have basically won at WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 7, and WrestleMania 8. All by pinfall, all by the Earthquake splash. And he would be accompanied by Typhoon at ringside, whereas Yokozuna would have Mr. Fuji. And I would also have Giant Gonzalez. Basically, both monsters. So it's a monster match, match. And Yokozuna, basically, Earthquake finally downs Yokozuna. He can't hit the power slam, but he's going for the Earthquake splash. When he was at the outside, Mr. Fuji tries to attack Typhoon, and Typhoon heads toward Mr. Fuji, but Giant Gonzalez knocks out Typhoon and can use what he did at WrestleMania 9 to The Undertaker. He does the same thing. Earthquake is distracted. gets basically a huge blast in the corner, belly to belly by Yoko, Banzai drop 1, 2, 3. So Yokozuna breaks Earthquake streak, which leads him on to win the WWE title at King of the Ring 993. Now, in the penultimate match of night one, I would have what happened on the Raw after the Rumble. I would have had happened here. Mr. Perfect taking on the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Come on. I know even if Ric Flair wasn't happy, you could have just toughened out till WrestleMania 9 and left. And I would have the same match that at Raw 993. I would have the same match here with Mr. Perfect beating Ric Flair and send him to basically send him packing from the WWE. And I'll propose because Ric Flair, and there's a spoiler for later on that night, later on in that series, Ric Flair will be the only guy to lose two. Loser leaves, or loser either gets packed or gets sent packing, or loser retires. And it's just gonna be basically several years later he's gonna lose again. And as it was double main event, I'm gonna respect that. And the main event for night one of WrestleMania will be Money Inc. defending against the Mega Maniacs. I always thought it was ridiculous that WrestleMania 9, in spite of having basically been dreadful, the only title change happened at a frenetic pace for the WWE title was Bret Hart losing in a controversial way to the title to Yokozuna, who was challenged and immediately got dropped by Hulk Hogan. And I thought, let's remedy that. Let's have another title change. And have, in this case, Money Inc. does lose the tag titles to Hogan and Beefcake. It means more than basically Hogan winning the world title with Edge, because this time both of real friends in real life, they both kind of grew up together, and it felt like it can easily end WrestleMania night one with a hug between the two of them. You know? Basically, they've been through so much together, and now finally they share a moment, a title together. And I thought that's where you end night one. Night two, you have Kamala and the Nasty Boys against the Beverly Brothers and Jeans. Look, I love the Beverly Hills SNES song. Their Super Nintendo like his songs always thrills me. It always makes me laugh, and it always makes me feel like the people are just like you could just and the genius walking away, like walking around like it's graduation day every day. They were just so hilarious. And I want to put Lanny Poffo. I want him to have a WrestleMania match, even if it be a short match, because it'd be like 6, 7 minutes. Kamala basically splashes, basically one of the Beverly Brothers. The Nasty Boys don't do their pit stop finisher, and that's it. It'd be like 6, 7 minutes. Doesn't need to be longer than that. Then you would have Bob Backlund taking on the Repo Man. Bob Backlund wins. He wins via roll up. After an atomic drop and something like this, he wins via roll up. Remember last time I was talking to you about Tito Santana and Rick Martel being the sore losers of WrestleMania 8. Well, this applies here. What happens? Okay, since WrestleMania 8, what happens? Rick Martel in real life basically goes to more real estate. So he's there and he's not there. So he does get some important wins over lower mid carders, but he doesn't get above that. Okay. What happens to Tito though? After they sold up with Shawn Michaels, Tito is in storyline kind of suspended, and he comes back in June. Then he asserts himself. He's surprised to get some wins, some big important wins against the Mountie. He gets against Repo Man. He gets important wins against Skinner, Berserker. Basically, he's getting some wins. And at SummerSlam 92, while Bret Hart does lose the IC title to British Bulldog, similarly, I have Ric Flair gain the title back earlier in the evening, that is, from Macho Man Randy Savage with Razor Ramon's assistance. Why do I make it happen like this? Because I thought it was useless that there was a SummerSlam match between Warrior and Savage, and then with a count out, only for like 1 week or 2 weeks later for Savage to lose the title anyway. Storyline wise or not, it's like, why? And why would, if Warrior's not going to turn heel either, it's like, what was the point of all that? So, and I would make sure in this case that Perfect's not involved in that finish, and basically the finisher with Flair regaining the title. It's like he's just pondering why Razor Ramon? It's like already there's already friction between the two, like dissension between Flair and Perfect, because you wonder, hey, what happened? I wasn't consulted in that. I'm the consultant here, and this is happening. You don't need Razor, you just need yourself. And this is how it starts. So yeah, but Tito on that end is getting important win after important win. And then they do a tour at Spain. And Tito challenged Ric Flair for the WWE title. In what should be for everybody, just like, it's just a formality. Ric Flair's going to retain. It's just kind of for a hometown pop. Except here's a part. Tito Santana does win the WWE title in 1992 over Ric Flair. To huge shock for the fans. The fans are happy. They're sending home happy because Tito versus Ric Flair is the main event. He sends home happy. It's basically that happens in September, early September. Okay? And then it's announced on Superstars they did win the WWE title. But then Tito Santana defends the title against Rick Martel, and Tito wins. So he finally got a win over Rick Martel. Rick Martel had basically win at WrestleMania 6 over Tito Santana, and won later on that I think in October 1990 against Tito. Finally, Tito has a win over Rick Martel. Now, and you have Tito maybe defend against Papa Shango again. But later in the month, Tito does have to defend the title once more against Ric Flair, and Ric Flair used Razor Ramon to cheat and win the title for a third time. Leading to Ric Flair the month later in a match basically where Razor Ramon is barred from inside. Ric Flair loses the title to Bret Hart in Saskatoon, like in real life. And then it carries over that reign up until WrestleMania. So, yeah. As for the World Tag Titles, just so we know, Natural Disasters win at WrestleMania 8. They lose it basically not at SummerSlam. They lose that like October or September. Sorry, in this case, September to Money Inc. And Money Inc. carry them to WrestleMania. But anyway, Tito Santana was WWE champion. In that version, he actually accomplished the Triple Crown before Bret Hart. But he loses it. And Tito Santana basically goes to WrestleMania and said, I want to, I've done everything there is to do in WWE, but there's one thing I haven't done. And two things is, first of all, it's been a long time since I won a WrestleMania. And two, I haven't been Rick Martel at WrestleMania, which is Rick Martel basically said, you never beat me at that event. And at WrestleMania 9, they do face off against each other, and Tito Santana does win. Tito doesn't win with Actually, Tito would win with a flying forearm, but it would take two of them to win. After the match end, Tito Santana wants to shake Rick Martel's hand, but Rick Martel doesn't take the bait. He doesn't hit Tito, he just does the and leaves to boos. And Rick Martel basically is frustrated. So it's basically like it sets in motion like it's been 4 years that we separated as a tag team, and I'm still not grown over you. I didn't grow past you. So yeah. That would be the third match. The fourth match would be Owen Hart. Basically, fighting his family against Jerry the King Lawler. Owen Hart would win. But after the match, Jerry Lawler would be a sore loser and basically hit Owen Hart several times with scepter, basically to injure Owen. And it's like Bret Hart comes to the rescue, and it feels like Bret Hart did come to his rescue as a younger brother, but his focus is divided between his family and the WWE title match. So it kind of creates friction and basically intrigue for the WWE title match later on that night. You have Lex Luger, the narcissist, taking on and defeating Jim Duggan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And he do it with a forearm. Like, he doesn't cheat, bar that. Now, what are the two last match in the card? One, I think knowing me, I think you guys knowing me, know that basically I would vouch for that. What is the biggest, or at least the most complex relationship or biggest rivalry in comic books? Yeah, it happens with a guy who is a creature of the night and a guy dressed up like a clown. Batman and the Joker. Creature of the night being brooding, being about, in some ways, dark justice, but taking no quarters. Whereas the other one is basically a force of chaos, an agent of chaos. And I thought WB had a missed opportunity to always do The Undertaker versus Doink the Evil Clown. And you have it here at WrestleMania. And yeah, Undertaker wins. Doink the Evil Clown wouldn't care about wins. It's easy. It wasn't a character about getting titles. And right now, I feel like you can have Undertaker pin Doink. You know? And after the match, you could have the double Doink thing or triple Doink. Like the Undertaker won, but seeing the triple Doinks is like, oh, Undertaker might have won the match, but he didn't win the mind games. We don't see that often with the Undertaker. And basically, there you can have a feud between the Summer, right? Have Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. Have a feud with Undertaker and Doink, which culminated SummerSlam when Undertaker decisively pins Doink. And Doink would not be pinned by anybody else but the Undertaker, and would lead to Doink. Maybe if you turn him face in the summer afterwards, that's okay. Okay. Now, what will be the main event? The main event has to be Bret Hart against the Royal Rumble winner of 1993, and that will be the Macho Man Randy Savage. And I debated who should win, but I'm thinking if that's the first time that the stipulation of going to WrestleMania happens now, if it's the first time you see it, then it has to be taken in effect seriously, and it has to actually culminate with a win. And yeah, I would have Macho Man Randy Savage win his what would be his fourth WWE title at WrestleMania 9 over the Hitman. But he wouldn't win it at the top rope elbow. He wouldn't win it by cheating. It would be basically a fair and square match that would end up with basically Bret Hart trying one move too many, one of his many pinfall combination, Savage counters, 1, 2, 3, and both shake hands and hug at the end of the match. That's right. You end both WrestleMania 9 with Hogan and Hogan and Beefcake hugging each other with the World Tag Team titles, and you ended with Savage and Bret. While Bret is basically disheartened to have lost the match, he still hugs Savage and raises his hand to show him that maybe he's excellence of execution, but when he does lose, he's gracious. So yeah, and I thought that would make it a fantastic WrestleMania 9 like this. Maybe not the best, but it's like looking at the card, I thought, man, if it had been that WrestleMania, sign me up. It wouldn't be a joke. It wouldn't be a running joke among wrestling fans. It actually would be, oh crap, that was a damn good WrestleMania. And it hits me that we're nearly at the 25% point of WrestleManias, nearly, because next time will be WrestleMania 10. On that note, ponder about what it could be, and I wish you a great day. A good one.